Welcome to Paranormal Takedown, the show that takes you behind the scenes of some of Britain's most haunted places. Tonight, on Paranormal Takedown, we're visiting Dovecot Hall in Derbyshire, which is allegedly haunted by no fewer than 8 ghosts. I'll be visiting the house to see if I can capture one of the spooks on camera, while Mark tries to debunk the stories. Give us a sign. Are you here? Can you hear me? After I left the West Wing, I began to feel overwhelmed. Then the knocking seemed to follow me as I walked. Was this the little boy I sensed earlier who called out in fear? Throughout my exploration, he was trying to get my attention. Was this contact his way of letting us know the secrets of Dovecot Hall? At this point, I thought it might be worth catching back up with the team to see what they've uncovered and conduct an EVP session. Oh, huge temperature drop. Do you feel that, crew?
As I thought, it's been quiet here, Emilie. And heat changes can be easily explained by the old windows. And of course the heating pipe running directly underneath this room.
Perhaps the EVP will help us to understand more. Because there's definitely a strong energy here, and as we've walked the building, I've felt us being followed.
As you know, Emilie, EVP is a mere pseudoscience, incapable of really proving anything. Though widely propagated, it basically encourages auditory pareidolia. Our brains are seeking replies, so that's what we hear. Simple. The EVP isn't evidence alone for paranormal activity. We need to look at the whole picture, and when faced with the evidence, we see that...
In this instance, it's worthy of completing. We have eyewitness accounts, coupled with the phenomena earlier in the investigation. Let's gather the team and begin EVP. Then, hopefully, we can understand what's going on behind these walls.
I have to inform you that I've been looking at the history of Dovecot Hall. 1895 was the date you gave for your boy phantom, wasn't it? Well, unfortunately, the census suggests no children lived here in the years preceding or after then. But let's go find your ghosts, eh?
Mark? Hi, it's me. How are you? Well, I've not heard from you in a while, so I thought I would just check in. God, I'm awful at leaving messages. I saw you on TV just now. Haven't changed, have you? Anyway, I'll try again later. Hi, Mark. Thought I'd try again. Actually, I'm not ringing for a catch-up. You see, I have a proposition for you. I'm back home. I've been for some time. My granddad got sick. It was his funeral a couple of weeks ago. Suppose you didn't get the invite. Anyway, look, I've been doing some local research. It's good, I promise you. I think you might be interested in your column or something, or maybe even the show. Well, I'll let you decide. If you give me a bell, I'll tell you more and hopefully we can go from there. Anyway, call me. It's Jack. I know it's late, but I needed you to respond to me. You must have got my messages by now. I'm not asking for a bloody camera crew or anything. Just hear me out. This is big, very big. Listen, everything he told us was right. those years he tried to explain, he was right. There is something very evil here, and I have proof. The devil's here, Mark. He's everywhere I turn. Just call me or text me. Anything. Look, you're the only one who can help me. I know you will understand. If we get you back here, you'll feel it too. Stop playing games. Can't you see I'm desperate? I don't know how much I can take. Just respond to me. Call, a text, a carrier pigeon. Come to Shropshire. Come home. I need your help. I need you.
There's a few more after that. They get worse. It's completely out of the blue as well. I've not seen him since the youngest's christening. What do you think?
Have you called the police? He sounds so sad.
Why would I? I've got an idea. We've never covered the devil.
Oh, bloody hell, Mark! Is that all you can think about? You need to call someone who can help him. What if he...
I called the producers. Told them we've found our next special. Imagine the ratings. We could probably have it out in time for Halloween.
Oh, come on, this is serious. Your friend is clearly going through something. You need to at least call him or someone who can keep an eye on him. What did they say? I suppose it might be good for Halloween.
See, you're just as bad as me. Just a bit slower on the uptake. They said to head down there, find out what's happening, then pitch it. Want to come?
So you're actually running with this?
Of course I am. It'll be easy for me to expose. I know you like your spooky stories, but we've got to bring more. Something so ridiculous that people tune in. And no one is doing the devil, are they? It's definitely ludicrous enough to boost ratings after...
Your series of indiscretions?
Exactly that. So, you coming down? Free holiday.
No. I think it's best for you to sort out, for now, anyway. If you find out anything good or need anything, give me a call. But, Mark...
Yes?
Have some bloody sensitivity. He sounded really sad.
You'll be thanking me soon. Paranormal Takedown on Satan himself. I love it.
I didn't think you'd come.
You wouldn't believe the journey I've had. The traffic was terrible. I forgot how bad these roads could be. And the drivers! Jesus Christ. Trust you to end up back in the back end of Beyond?
I had to. I couldn't move him.
Oh, Jesus, Jack, I completely forgot. Are you keeping all right? You know, with it all. Just, you seemed a bit upset on the voicemails.
I've got by. Lots to sort out. There's a lifetime in those walls, but I'm guessing there. I generally didn't think you'd come, even after you text back. I thought you said your co-hosts were coming.
She might be down in a day or two. Don't get any ideas, though. She's my colleague, after all. Not much in the brains department, but very nice to look at.
Jesus, you're getting worse. You coming in, or are you just going to stand there looking daft?
Let me get my bags. Big place. Victoria?
Georgian. But there's been people here since before records began. It's fascinating, really. Apparently, just over the fence, there used to be a little cottage. An old lady lived there. She was known for witching. Susie Evans, I think she was called. Anyway, one day, out Susie, cursed the wrong person, and ended up with a knife in her back. At least that's what the folklore says.
Fascinating. What's that horseshoe for, over the door?
They keep the witches out. You been keeping out of trouble, Mark?
You wouldn't believe, fella. I could get used to a place like this. Feel like Lord of the Manor. It's nice to get away, after all the bother going on. I suppose you've seen the headlines.
I don't really follow the news.
Ah, good. The less we say about it, the better. Some people just can't handle the truth. You know, mate, I genuinely meant to get in touch with you sooner. It's just been so hectic with it all.
Listen, we're both adults. I get it. Separate lives and all that. And besides, that's not why you're here. What's the strangest place you've ever been? You know, with your investigations.
I don't know. Some places have an atmosphere, like you can feel their age. But it's nothing I can't explain away. People see a dark room or old ruins and attach headless horsemen and satanic bloody monks. Of course, we can't help it. It's been part of our culture for so long. It's just daft how we run away with ourselves. Though I suppose it pays my bills.
There's got to be more to it, though.
Has there? If I told you enough times there was a dangerous animal loose in the cupboard under the stairs, which wanted to tear off your skin, would your heart not skip a beat every time you walk past? Humans can be conditioned to believe anything. Thoughts can control and shape a person. I've made it my job to hold your hand, take you to that cupboard, open it wide and show you it's a mop and bucket. There's an honesty to what I do. Unlike those bloody medium.
Put your soapbox away. I've not got time for it. You want a drink?
Actually, it's been lovely catching up, but shall we get down to business? I'm here for a reason, after all. Tell me about your research.
Yeah. Where to begin? I know it's going to sound a bit wacky, but I promise I can prove it.
That's what they all say.
No, this is different. Just listen to me, okay? It's not ghosts, but is sort of in your line of work. I know you're the man for the job.
Lucky I became a paranormal researcher and not an accountant then.
Yeah. I'm really glad you're here.
You sure everything's all right, mate? Only some of the things you were saying were quite worrying.
It might seem weird at first, but you'll understand.
Jack, I know it's been difficult for you recently. You were really close to him, weren't you? It must have been a blow, dealing with it alone, so that's part of the reason I came. To get you proper support. You realise you left me messages saying the devil was in Shropshire? The devil, Jack.
Of course I do. This isn't a grief thing. I need you to listen. It'll make more sense tomorrow. I'll show you my research. Proper research. Stuff dating back hundreds of years. I've interviewed so many people who understand the power hidden in this landscape. Something's going on, Mark.
Jack.
No. We think we're clever, as humans. But there's so much we don't understand. We used to, but we let that fade. The truth is ancient, dark, ugly, and it bleeds into everything. Our ignorance has allowed it to thrive. People like you haven't helped, always trying to disprove. The shortest day of the year is in 2 days. It'll make sense then. Give me 3 days. Let me help you understand. The devil is here, Mark.
You're joking, right? You're telling me the Prince of Bloody Darkness, Old Nick, El Diablo, Beelzebub, or whatever you want to call him, is living in Shropshire? Got a little cottage, has he? Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. You're unwell. You're serious, aren't you? Oh, Jesus, Jack. Who's been putting this kind of stuff in your head? You're not even Christian. Christ, you even had a Buddhist phase at uni.
It's not about God. It's far older. I promise to show you. If I'm wrong, you never have to speak to me again.
You're insane.
I'll make you see.
Jack, let's talk for a moment. You're a clever guy. There are many stages of grief, aren't there? Some of them can make you think things that aren't true, or believe strange things. This evil seeping in the land, or whatever you said. Is that not just how you're feeling? Isn't it just grief? You've been through a lot. Look, even if the devil did exist, why on earth would he be in Shropshire?
I thought like you once. You'll see. I've never believed in anything more in my life, and that's why I contacted you. You're more than an old friend, after all. You're Britain's bad boy skeptic, or whatever you call yourself these days. 15 years and debunked every case. Well, if I can prove to someone like you what is happening, it has to be true, doesn't it? You're about to have the biggest revelation of your career. Evil moves freely here, and is corrupting more and more people. Do you know the story of the Stiperstones?
What story?
It's the devil's place. We'll find him up there on the devil's chair. And beyond there is hell's gutter, which he uses to pass between realms, spreading wickedness and strife. It's infected. Whole bloody county is. And we're gonna stop him.
Stop who? Sorry, I'm not following. Who is it we're stopping, Jack?
Old Scratch. Satan. Lucifer fallen. Call him whatever you want.
So we are going to do battle against the forces of evil up on the hill? Do I look like Van Bloody Helsing? You can't be serious. Who's filling your head with this? You're not getting mixed up with anything dodgy, are you?
If this isn't for you, get back in your car. I don't want to be like you, plastered all over the TV in a bad suit. Ugh. Might be entertainment for you, but this is my life, Mark. This was my granddad. He was brilliant, you know. Brilliant. And this cost him everything. You know, he only came here for his PhD, to study the bloody rock formations. But he met the devil, Mark. He met him up on the hills and it changed him. It took him away, piece by piece. It ruined his life. And then came the isolation, the melancholy, the ridicule from those who once respected him. He deserved more. Together, we can stop this.
Listen, it's late. Let's just leave it here for now. Show me what you've got tomorrow. Your so-called proof. I'm not going to make any promises, but seriously, mate, I know I've not always been there, but I'm not going to leave you alone. I owe you that much. All this stuff in your head, you aren't going to face it alone.
All right. We'll talk tomorrow. I've set up a bed in one of the spare rooms for you. Sleep until you're ready. There'll be a pot of coffee on. Good night.
All right, sunshine. It's me.
I'm not your sunshine. What do you want?
It's time for you to do some work. He's clearly lost his mind, but he believes he can prove it. I want you to get a camera ready, so when you come down, we can make a start.
I never agreed to come down.
You've got to. I can't do the show alone. We can take it in turns with the camera, and I need someone to bounce ideas off. I'm thinking satanic witch cult up in the hills. You could believe that, to be fair. It's the middle of bloody nowhere. Anyway, he's supposed to be showing me his research tomorrow. Honestly, it's like a bad Hammer horror movie plot.
So you think we have something here? Could we be unbiased, though? He is an old friend of yours.
Forget being unbiased. We want entertainment, Emilie. I say let him have his moment, prove him wrong, and then laugh our way to the bank. Imagine the publicity. With something like this, I reckon the paper would resurrect my column. Anyway, I need you to do some research for me. Anything to do with Shropshire, Satanism, folklore, weirder the better. Pop it in an email and ping it over by tomorrow morning.
I will try. It's late, though. I'll sort what I can this end. I need to make sure you behave.
Unless you want to misbehave.
Good night, Mark.
Bloody Satan. He's actually lost his mind. Lucky me. Ave Satanus. Ave Satanus. Ave Satanus. Canst thou hear me? Probably past your bedtime. For many, the word Shropshire invokes pastoral scenes, picturesque blue-remembered hills and history of days gone by. But, perhaps, it is not what it seems. I am in the house of my childhood friend, who appears to be in the grips of a modern-day satanic panic. Indeed, among these sleepy hills, something darker lies. What was that? Must be the wind. Oh, bloody old houses.
Morning. You stayed then?
Naturally. The fate of mankind rests in me doing so.
Sleep well?
Does it look like it? How can somewhere so isolated be so noisy?
I never heard anything.
Well, I did. Plenty of clattering and banging, too. Sounded like you were running about all night. Old pipes?
Probably. Unless you woke the poltergeist up. Coffee?
Polter. Go on then.
Thank you for yesterday. I know it wasn't what you were expecting, and I might have come over a little strong. But, look, I'm grateful you came. It was the first proper conversation I've had in ages.
It's all right. I'm glad to see you too, mate. It was a shock, but... Anyway, what's the plan for today?
We'll take a look at my research. Then I want you to meet some people. Oh, don't worry. It won't be all crystals or New Age types.
I should hope not. Any toast?
Bread's over there and butter's in the dish.
Oh, I left you a list of numbers by the phone. People you can talk to. Professionals, helplines. From experience, they're good. Oh! Did this butter come with the original house? Jeez, it's well off.
What? I only bought it yesterday.
Well, it's off. I wasn't hungry anyway. Thought Shropshire was supposed to be dairy country. So, other than defending the world from evil, have you been up to much recently? Any friends? Job? Women? I'm trying to put a mental picture of your life together.
Not really. I prefer my own company. I've been pretty preoccupied.
Christ, you're a closed book, aren't you? 25 years I've known you, and I still haven't got a bloody clue who you are.
Well, we can't all be endowed with larger-than-life personalities like you.
I'm not criticising you. It's just, I wish you would open up.
I did last night. You call me insane.
Touché. Oh, mind if I take this?
Go ahead.
Hello.
Still alive then?
Sorry to disappoint. You're still the pretty co-host, I'm afraid.
For now, at least. Look, I've told the producers, and they're happy for me to come up there with some equipment and start filming. I won't get there until tomorrow, as I've not really slept. I've sent you an email with some stuff I found, some folk tales, history, geographical phenomena.
Sounds riveting. Give me the obvious stuff.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you couldn't read. There's loads. One story takes place in this pub in a village called, Jackfield, the Boat Inn.
Lovely place.
Apparently, the devil visited there in 1897. He entered the pub and wanted to play cards with the locals. He was dressed in fancy clothes, bought everyone drinks, and was the life of the party. The last to play cards was the blacksmith. All was going well until the blacksmith dropped a card on the floor and reached down to get it. He saw 2 cloven hooves under the table. At that moment, a great gust of wind blew the doors open, swept the devil out, shouting curses as he left. It says...
Blimey. Well, I'm in for a treat. Anyway, I'd better go. I'll keep you posted. Oh, and make sure you catch up on that beauty sleep. Can't be seen on screen with a rough-looking co-host, can I?
Oh, fuck off, Mark.
Sorry, that was Emilie. She's obsessed with me. It happens, you know. Lots of younger women are looking for that father figure.
I don't know how she works with you.
I'm joking, of course. Anyway, where's this research?
Follow me. It's just up the stairs.
Do you mind if I record myself? You know, my observations. Helps when I'm writing it up later. Or if this does go to film, I can use the voice clips to give the finished product that authentic feel.
Knock yourself out, pal.
Sound. Don't laugh at me. I like to provide a certain level of pizzazz to my stuff.
I'll keep quiet until I'm needed.
Here I am in the house of my good friend, an eminent folklorist who is about to unlock the satanic secrets of the Stiper Stones. As we ascend the seemingly ancient stairway, I cannot help but think of all those who've trodden these steps before me, and the mysteries these walls contain. There's a hidden history of Shropshire, far darker than most of us could imagine. As I enter the room, the gravity of that strange, dark history weighs on me. Are we about to unearth some ancient evil, stalking those blue-remembered hills? Or has this sleepy part of the world been gripped by strange delusions and misinformation? Are there modern-day Satanists practicing unholy rites? Or are they just silly stories? For once, I'm willing to suspend my reason and see what my friend has to say. The room is dimly lit, with an assortment of papers adorning the walls. They seem to be covered in writing and occult symbols. Ancient books and black and white photographs litter the area, cast away like memories of this building.
Bloody hell, that was dramatic. Eminent folklorist, am I? I thought I'd lost my mind.
What would you rather me say? Local nutter? How about the weird kid who threw up all over me on a residential trip to Llandudno in Year 6? It's good to put on a show. You get an air of authority. Not that you deserve it. You going to show me this research, then?
Right. Yes. Where to begin?
Why don't you start with the folktale, or your granddad's experience? We can build from there.
Right. Yes. Folktale. That's a good place to start. Folklore influences all aspects of life here. As for the existence of evil, I suppose we all ponder it, don't we? How can evil exist in a world ruled by a benevolent God?
I thought this wasn't about God. I thought it was all about ancient powers or something.
It's far deeper than God. In every culture, the struggle between good and evil is central to life itself. It's a part of every religion and folklore. Have you heard the ancient Persian myth? Ahura Mazda and Angra Mainyu, for example.
Believe it or not, Persia isn't part of my wheelhouse.
They're the primordial powers of light and darkness, good and evil. They're locked in eternal warfare against each other. One wants to bring forth wisdom and inspire mankind's growth. And the other, well, he's the originator of disease, decay, and death. He wants darkness. Darkness without end. So they fight until one of them succeeds. Everything stems from this concept, this struggle. Everything's just extensions of this law. And it all points to evil winning if we don't fight it.
What does Persia have to do with Shropshire?
Do I have to spell it out? What I'm saying is, for as long as there has been man, there's been a battle between good, or God, if you will, and the devil, evil. It's less obvious in places, but for some reason in this little unknown corner of England, the devil took hold. Perhaps it was the pain of the place. The history's littered with bloodshed and the land remembers. Perhaps the old ways never really died. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Evil thrives off pain, sadness and negative energies. Howard Scratch is attracted to all the hurt. He started small, but as time went on, after he had corrupted enough, he could hold more sway, be brazen with his act. He walked among us unfettered, influencing people, making promises to them. He really gained a following here in Shropshire.
Bloody hell, you're good. Complete nonsense, of course, but it's a good story. I should have recorded that. Can I nick that bit about Ahura whatever you called those two?
The devil's left his mark here. Encouraged men to do diabolical things. And he's planning something big. He holds sway over this area, you see. Enough people here are willing to do his bidding. This isn't just folklore, Mark. It's blood and sweat and tears. He's getting stronger.
What happened to your granddad, then?
He came to Shropshire during the 30s to study the rock formations. One day, he climbed the hill early one morning and worked till about 2 p.m. That's when he noticed daylight was fading prematurely. So he packed up and headed home. Soon enough, it was as dark as midnight, and it had become bitterly cold. And then he saw them. These shadowy figures, swaying in the midst in a choppy, inhuman way. It wasn't until he walked closer that he realised they didn't have faces.
Jesus, that's a bit spooky.
There were others too. Hidden things. Watching him. The wind whipped around, and he stumbled through the dark until he saw it. The devil's chair, illuminated by their candlelight. They were naked and dancing wildly. There was a figure in the centre of the circle, inhumanly tall and clad in black. He was glued to the spot, his heart pounding in his chest. And this is when he heard the figure calling him, echoing around his head. It knew his name, Mark. It knew his name and wanted him.
Right. There's a lot to unpack here. It's not even like in the 1930s. It could have been a pack of feral goths or something. It's not direct evidence for the devil, though.
He called it the last day of his life. He was never free again. This isn't a man who was weak-willed or easily scared. That voice he heard, it never left him. It will call him back. He used to say that Howard Scratch felt so close to him that he'd replaced his shadow.
I've got goosebumps. Why have I got goosebumps? I never get them.
Naturally, he was horrified by his experience and reported it to the police and the media. He met a journalist and trusted him, so he told him everything. And that's when his life began to unravel. It broke him, but for every piece of his life he lost, Howard Scratch got stronger. He lost his place at university, his teaching position, abandoned his research, and bought this place. He wanted to be close to him, to predict his next move, work out how to stop him.
That's all just horrible. I don't really know what to say.
I know. My grandmother was the only thing keeping him out of the abyss. Howard Scratch uses the Stiper Stones because it's a great vantage post. You can see the whole county from there. The most important date in his calendar, which is in 2 days' time, is the shortest day of the year. It's when he calls forth all of his followers to ascend the slopes and stand before him. They gaze upon his presence and have their sins judged for the year. The most diabolical will assume the title of king for that year. At the same time, people offer themselves to him, and he rewards them for their loyalty.
Sounds a bit much, if you ask me.
See this folder here? It's full of eyewitness accounts. Over 150 years worth. They all have common elements. Strange lights, chanting, rituals, same inhuman presence. One account from 1948 states that for 3 days before the sighting, cattle were stolen and their carcasses left scattered across the hill.
Okay. Any more stories?
Oh yes. There's this road between Acton Burnell and Cardington. The locals call it the Devil's Causeway. That's because the devil built it in a single night. It's still a popular route, but in the past, it was the only way the two areas could connect to the wider world. Bad things have happened there. I have police reports, autopsies. See this picture? See the horns on that creature?
Well, it is blurry, but there's something.
The devil stalks this road, appearing to anyone using it after sundown. In 1963, a driver nearly ran over this thing, a creature with cloven hooves and 2 great horns like a goat. Old Scratch passes judgment on everyone he encounters on this road. If you've lived a good life, he'll let you go so you can warn others. However, if you are a wretched soul, he beats you to a bloody pulp and leaves you to die on that road. And this is where folklore and reality entwine. See, every few years a corpse is found on the roadside. Always beaten beyond recognition. Lacerations all over it. The blood drained from the body.
You're joking, right? Surely that's a serial killer, trying to recreate the folklore. Where's the report?
No. The earliest record of such a creature was in 1743. These attacks follow through history. Same place, same injuries, same fate. The last one was in 2007. He just got out of prison after serving a lengthy sentence for violent crimes. Ripped out of a car and beaten to a pulp. The policeman I interviewed said it looked like he'd gone through some sort of a machine, that he'd never seen a body so damaged. It's all in the file. They're all in the file.
Why haven't I heard of this case? Jesus Christ, these ones are in our lifetime. I mean, strip away all your devil nonsense, this is huge. People are being murdered. Why isn't this talked about?
Because old Scratch is clever. How could something so dark happen in a pretty little place like this? People refuse to believe anything bad could happen here. I don't believe for 1 minute he kills his victims out of morality. I think he's feeding, looking for people that won't be missed.
Christ. How did you get access to stuff like this? These are actual police documents. They've still got the stamps on. Why have you got these, Jack?
Let's just say they found their way to me.
I feel sick. You're actually making me feel uneasy. It's hard to explain. I'm not saying that I believe you, but my skin is crawling. There's got to be a bigger picture here, something causing all of this. There's so much blood. What are you dragging me into? What's going on, Jack? How many murders are we talking about?
Hard to tell. I know of hundreds.
Christ, I just need to go get some fresh air.